Hello, everyone. We're Group A, and today I'm going to be presenting with Hira, Daniel, and Jack on our class project based on DC student accessibility. Personally, we've all been to DC for various reasons. This includes looking for internships, social activities with friends, exercising, stress outlets, food, museums, and to be independent and expand our own personal horizons in general. The issue here is that the university does little to show us these opportunities in the city, and we want to change that in order for our peers to be able to experience those same experiences. I'll now pass it off to Hira to explain further the problem more in detail.
As Nico was just briefly going over, the university isn't providing students with a concrete resource that informs them of opportunities and events that are going on within DC. And because of this, and we will go into more of this later with our research, but we found that students aren't going to DC as often as you would expect them to. And the effect of this is twofold. The first being that students are missing out on a variety of benefits such as the ones that Nico was just talking about, like internship opportunities, being able to go to cultural events, being able to go to museums or other academic areas that aren't available on campus. And the second effect is that the university is missing out on the chance to attract prospective students that are really looking for a college experience near DC.
So much of the inspiration behind this project was based on our own experience as a group. But in order to better develop how the student body thought about this issue, we decided to undergo a survey of the student body in order to develop a better picture. And in doing the survey, we had a few questions in mind. Namely, the first one was, were students visiting DC already without the resources provided by the university? And what did that look like? Second, why were they going? Was it for jobs, personal enjoyment, other activities, whatever? Third was, what was preventing them from going? So was it the lack of resources provided by the school, or was it transportation or other measures? The fourth was, how culpable was the school in this endeavor? And the fifth was, would our solution actually be popular among the student body? So in order to accomplish this goal, we set about creating a 9-question survey that we had up for 1 week, and we sent it out to a variety of UMD students, and we got 63 responses from current UMD students. And next, we're going to go over some of the results. So the first result from the survey is we found that travel into DC is quite mixed among the student body. As you can tell from the first chart, we see that 38 or 36.5% indicated they only travel in a few times a year. Another 36.5% indicate they travel in monthly. 17.5% indicate traveling in weekly, and almost 10% indicate that they never travel into the city. Next, we found that much of the reasons for students in visiting DC is social enjoyment. As you will see from the graph below, almost every student, 61 out of 63, or 96.8%, indicated that they visit DC for social enjoyment. Next, we found that students did wish they visited more often, as you can see from the response on the right. 85.7% indicated they did wish more often. But they did feel that the opportunities, they felt uninformed about the opportunities available to them. As you will see from the graph below that, 90% indicated a busy academic schedule for a preventative reason for visiting DC, which is normal among the student body. But almost half of those surveyed also indicated that a lack of a knowledge about the events happening in the city prevented them from visiting more often. Lastly, we found from the survey that students feel the university has both not provided them enough of a resource in order to find events in the city for them, but that if a resource was implemented, students would happily accept the resource and go into the city more often. And we see this in the data. The first one shows that Nearly 83% of the student surveys felt that the university did not go far enough in providing them with information about opportunities happening in the city. We see that 92% of students would feel more inclined to go into the city if they had those opportunities. And we found that 87% of the student surveys would be interested in a student-focused platform dedicated to them. So our solution, as we can see from the data, would be popular if it was implemented.
Along with the data that we gathered from our surveys, we wanted to do additional research just to confirm our findings that there aren't enough students that are visiting DC. So in order to do this, we looked at Metro ridership data. And this graph over here is just showing us the average daily number of entries for the College Park Metro Station. We chose to just look at the weekend entries, so that's the 2 bars on the right, because we're assuming that most of the weekday entries are from non-students, just like College Park residents, who are commuting to DC for work daily. So we found that there are around 1,300 total riders on the weekends, and that's out of 30,000 undergraduates. So that's a big difference.
And moving on to a solution that we feel the university could implement to fix this problem. As you can see on the right, there are 2 main front runners for preferred platforms that students want to use, and that's a website and Instagram. So we decided that a hybrid between a social media for accessibility plus a UMD website for formality would be the best option. The Instagram posts would advertise events, mainly the large ones, and they would offer links for more information in the comment section. This is mainly for the younger generations that are on social media more than they are like a website. And then the websites would go more in depth about the upcoming events. It would have a calendar for the month, and there would also be links for more info. We plan on using the Diamondback to promote these services to students, just because that's another student-run organization that is well established on campus. And for the budget, we believe that this solution is relatively inexpensive for the university to implement. The Instagram page has no upfront costs whatsoever, and if you use Wix, the university domain website would have monthly costs ranging from $23 to $39. The main costs associated with upkeeping and updating a website would be account managers, but these already exist for the university website, so they wouldn't have to hire a new one.
So after successfully implementing our solutions, students will have information on DC-related activities and opportunities at their disposal. And we can expect students to travel to DC more often by looking at the future ridership data to compare how many students are now taking advantage of the things to do in the city. And as a result, overall, the student college experience will improve, and the school also benefits by seeing an increase in prospective students around the area. And lastly, some students may be able to better prepare themselves by securing a full-time job coming out of college directly.